Hey there, and welcome to episode number 11 of the Just One More Project Bag podcast. I'm Dana of Unwind on social media.
And I'm Tiffany, the Project Bag on all the social media platforms.
You can check out my epoxy tumblers at unwindoriginals.com and my Color Streak nail polish at pamperednailsbydana.com. Just make sure and click for the party that's called Tiffany's affiliate link so that she gets credit for any purchases that you make.
And I do appreciate it. I just closed out a party very recently from the link and got a couple of pretty free sets. And something I didn't realize, I don't know, you can tell me this. Do they make retired sets available to hostesses? Because I noticed some sets on there that I was able to purchase that weren't available.
Reloaded. They were.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
After a certain period of time, if they have enough of them left over in the warehouse, because they reserve a set number back just in case there's missing packages, damaged packages, any kind of quality issue, which is pretty rare, but it does happen sometimes, like with any product. After they hit a certain point, they'll release them onto the site, and they do it very unceremoniously now. They don't tell anybody they're doing it. Just you'll go on there and all of a sudden there's a bunch of retired stuff.
It'll just be your lucky day. Yeah, because I was able to score Glitz and Glory, and I was pretty excited about that. So.
Yes, I saw that you had gotten that, and I was like, I didn't even know that was back up.
Yeah, because I was wondering if that was just, another hostess perk, but, well, that's good to
know. No, they're on the site in general right now. Like, there's some pretty cute Valentine stuff on there that was from last year, and they're like the old Bloody Gorgeous base that has the black to red. Yes. So a lot of people bought them and just didn't use the heart strips and used them for Halloween.
So yeah, that works.
But anyway, yeah, there's a bunch of cool stuff on there right now, and we just released Holiday yesterday, so there's a bunch, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. Also check out Tiffany's project bags at theprojectbag.etsy.com. She's always got some fun stuff in her shop, so check her out and support her there. All right, so what has been going on? What you making?
What do we normally start out with? What we finished? Underway. Okay. So what do I have underway? Since we last recorded, I started this pair of socks. These socks have been in my queue for a while, and I've owned the pattern for quite a while. This is the Uphill Downhill pattern by Lisa K. Ross, also known as Paper Daisy Creations. This lighting is not being kind to this colorway. But this is just.
By the way, I don't think your AirPods are working. I think it's just your computer thing.
Okay.
Because you sound kind of hollow, and I have a feeling I'm going to be a lot louder than you, so I'm just letting you know.
Okay. Well, then let me remove them, and I'll just use the. Okay. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Your external is very soft, but
now it's echoing.
Oh, what in the world is happening? Internal mic.
Sorry, guys, technical issues. Michael,
this is real life.
Hey girl, what you doing?
Hey.
He doesn't understand yet that it's not just me and you, that it's you, me, and all of YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay. Same as this internal mic.
Yeah, I would volunteer to put on headphones, but I don't have any up here. I'm not echoing anymore though, and you sound clearer now.
Okay. Maybe I just needed him to. Maybe something was bouncing off of him.
We'll say that. Yes.
Maybe he's radioactive or something. This is it's just a play with knits and pearls. So it's cushy, and the yarn is Willow Tree Yarns, and it was a set of the main yarn and then the coordinating skein, and it was called Beach Chairs.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. So the pattern designated, I think it was a heel flap and gusset, but I did the garter short row. It fits me well, and it's so fast. I think that's one of the main things I appreciate
I have
about it.
high end
It's
steps,
just so
and it fits better, and I don't walk through them as fast. So
right.
I'm definitely a fan.
So now I'm, cruising on the little foot, and this is the first sock, and I'm enjoying it. I debated about whether or not to carry the pattern on the top of the foot, but it's only half of this foot anyway, so not too bad.
Cool.
So that's one of the things I've got underway right now.
Very awesome. Well, I only have one thing to show, so I'm just going to show it, and then it can be the you show.
Okay.
So I finished something big, so I picked up something big, which made me happy. So I am working on my soldotna again. This is all my yarn. It is 4 colors of my DK weight, and it's really hard to see on camera, and it's kind of hard to see in person too. The blue and the green, I went a little too close with the value, so there's not as much contrast. Like, yeah, you can barely tell the difference between them. In person, it's difficult too. But, I was talking to some friends about it, and I sent pictures, and they said, but it has kind of like that opalescent look to it, where it's like, looks like it's color shifting. And not all color work has to be boom in your face, I don't feel like. And with this hot pink kind of just taking over, I like that it's kind of more subdued in the other areas. So the body of the sweater, this is the Soldotna by Caitlin Hunter, Boyland Knitworks. The body's going to be in this graphite gray. So it's going to be real bang up here and then just settle on the bottom half. So I'm excited about it. These were big skeins. These were 150 gram skeins. So I should have more than enough. I'm also not knitting this cropped. I'm going to get as much length as humanly possible before I bind off, because I really want this to be more, cover the mom tummy. And if I have to, I have another skein of gray that's very close to this. That's mine, that I can fade in to kind of give it some extra oomph if I have to. But I've literally used this gray right here, and that's it. So it's almost a full thing. And since it's 150 grams, I think it works out to be like 300 and something yards, because I did the math on it. 346 yards. So it should be plenty. I don't even think I needed that much to do what I was trying to do. So
yeah, it's so pretty. I'm excited that you picked it back up, because I
don't know. I don't know why I kept putting it down. I don't know.
Oh, shiny.
It wasn't the time. It wasn't
right. It needed to be here and now.
Yeah.
This is the knitting that you need right now, is just the straight stockinette.
Yeah. And I love color work. I always have. I'm not the best at it. Like, my tension's not anywhere near as good as yours, but I love the process of color work. It's just like, it's got that same feel as cross stitch, where it's like filling in a grid, and I like that. So I'm having fun with it, and I'm excited.
I always forget how fast a pattern and color work works up.
Yeah.
Until I'm in it.
Yeah. And this is a good one because, of course it's a true fair isle, because it's just 2 colors a row. So yeah. And none of the floats are exceptionally long. I think the longest ones are 5 stitches, which is really not bad, because then you don't have to catch them in the back, which slows me down immeasurably. But anyway, yeah. So that's, I'm working on other things that I'll talk about, but I don't have anything to show. So you go ahead and talk about what you're doing.
Okay. Well, I have a cowl listed here that I cast on with the intention of it counting towards Crafty Bingo, because it's been in I think it was one of those squares, make a pattern from Q, and I've had it queued for a while, but I've decided I'm going to rip it. It's not, the project hasn't worked up the way that I had hoped. It's not deep. It's one of those that you work it flat and then you join in the round, so more like a scowl. But this is supposed to be the point. And also it's just far too drapey for what I'm looking for. It's a pretty stitch pattern.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, the pattern is lace eyelet cowl. I'm blanking on the designer right now, but it's in my project page. But yeah, this is fingering weight yarn, and I think I was making it. I'm making it on a 5.
Mhm.
Probably would bump up to a 7, maybe. I don't know, but then again, I don't know how much drape I really want it to have.
Say if you go up to a 7, it's going to have way more drape than it does right now.
Yeah.
I think
So-
maybe it would almost be better to do it in a sport weight on a 5, and then it would have more body.
Mhm.
Like go heavier yarn, because you don't want to go smaller needles, or you'll end up with, it'll be very, very wee.
Right.
Even more wee than it was.
But this is a hello Zebulon. This is the yarn is Arkansas Yarn Company, and it is her sparkle fingering with the gold glitz in it.
It's pretty.
And the color is rose gold.
Love it.
So I've got not quite 400 yards. I think it's 328 or something like that. But it's still, I mean, I've knit all this and I still have this much left. So
Wow.
I know that was the other thing. I kept thinking this can't be right because there's just so much yarn left.
Huh.
So anyway, I'll get back to use. I've looked at some other possibilities for that yarn because maybe it's not supposed to be that cowl.
No.
But anyway, so I'll rip that and decide about it later. And so the other thing I've got is this is something I just started a week ago, I think. This is the Oak Trail hat pattern by Alana Dakos, and I've knit this once before.
Oh, I love that hat. Brittany knit that hat forever ago. She was an Alana Dakos super fan.
Oh.
She knit almost that entire Botanical Knits book.
Whoa, see, I love everything in it. But when I made it before, I made it out of acrylic, and it was like a chemo hat I made for someone's relative. But I don't know why I've never made one for myself because I just really do
Very
like it.
pretty.
But this
I
is
love
the
her construction. Her construction was always very unique.
I kept thinking that.
Should
I mean,
we still design?
it's just so clever.
I haven't seen anything from her in ages. I know she closed her store, but does she still design?
That's a good point. I don't know that I have
I have
either.
Botanical Knits and Botanical Knits too, and I've knit a couple
Yeah.
of things out of both of them. But it's just I don't know. If I haven't seen anything from her in so long. I didn't know if she's still.
That is a good question.
Hmm.
So this is the Malabrigo Rios that I bought to make that. I have 2 failed sweaters out of it, and I've decided just, to turn it into other things besides sweaters.
Yes.
But this was a follow-up skein that I bought thinking I was going to run out of yarn for the sweater I was making. So the colorway doesn't match the lot that I have. My original lot has a lot more brown in it, and this does not have any brown in it whatsoever.
I love Malabrigo yarn, and I'm not slamming them, but even stuff within their same lots doesn't match each other. It's extremely difficult to make a garment out of Malabrigo.
Yes.
Although I will say their bases are incredible and their dye jobs are beautiful, and it's worth it. It's worth the extra trouble. But if you're like really wanting a single color and not to have to do a lot of fiddly switching, they're not the choice.
Right. Well, this is a hat from my hairstylist for Christmas. So I figured I'd just go ahead and knock that out.
Yeah.
It's hat tight, but it's super wash, so I think it's going to block out, a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a So anyway, yeah, I've enjoyed that, and I keep asking myself why I've never bothered to make one for myself. So maybe I'll just remedy.
Maybe that's
soon.
on the list.
Yeah.
Maybe you're gonna be in a jag of that hat. You're just gonna make that hat for a while.
Because that's what I do. You're right.
Yeah, you do.
So that's all I've got.
As soon as I knit something, I'm like, you were great. Bye.
Right. Moving on.
Although I forgot, I do have something else that I finished. It's downstairs. Oh well. And I don't even have a picture of it up on Ravelry, so it doesn't matter, I guess. But speaking of jags.
Oh, yeah.
I'll talk about that in a minute. All right. So like the only other things that I'm really working on, our friend Katrina made a kit and a couple of us are test knitting for her. And I screwed up royally on mine. So mine is back in yarn ball form and it's been cast on again, but that's about all I have to show. So I'm not really going to show that. And then I got a kit from Barrett Wool Company, and which is Susan B. Anderson's wool company. And all of the yarn is like spun in Wisconsin where she lives. And it's like that rustic, like kind of loose plied, like really nice to work with, but just, probably more rustic than I would knit a sweater out of for myself because I couldn't take that rubbing on my skin. But for anything else, it's great. And I got this super cute little kit that was for a tiny pumpkin garland. And there's a tiny pumpkin pattern. And with the stem and all, they're this tall. They're super, super tiny. They take me like 25 minutes to knit, including weaving in ends, super fast. So I'm making a little garland for my mantle, and the kit comes with string. So you can just string them as soon as you finish them. It's really fun. And then the kit also comes with a pattern for a tiny stuffed witch and a tiny black cat. So those are getting
inclusive. Everything's been thought of. It's all inclusive. It's all been thought.
It really is. The only thing it doesn't come with is needles and stuffing, which, I'm not short on either one of those things. So it was a really good thing. And it's just been something fun to like carry around with me and work on because I can bang one out in the car on the way to the in-laws on the weekend. So, it's about 25 minutes across town. If I start it when we leave the driveway, I've got it done when I get to their driveway. So that's been fun, but I need 12 to complete my garland. I have 9 done. So I just have 3 left to do, and then I'll have enough. And because I'm planning on them being about this far apart. So it's really cute though. And the kit was very generous. It was 50 gram skeins. You need like 7 yards of yarn to make these. So yeah, I could make a ton of them if I wanted to, but it's nice to have some, worsted weight woolen spun yarn to do small projects with. So I love this. I would love it. And I don't know if she would ever watch us, but I would love it if she would do one that looked like Christmas lights. Do a pattern that looked like Christmas lights and then do a kit for that, because I've always wanted to make a Christmas lights garland. I've never done it, and I keep wanting to do it because there used to be a kit through Knit Picks and they don't make it anymore, and it's so cute.
That would be fun.
It would be. So yeah, that's all I've been working on. I've been knitting tiny pumpkins and I've been knitting a sweater.
That's enough.
And I've been frogging.
And you've worked a little bit on your Bargello as well, right?
I have. Well, and I finished Madeline's sweater too. So
yeah.
I do have something to show for that. And I knit myself a calamitry headband.
Right.
So there's been things.
Right.
Yay. All right. So what do you have finished? Do you have anything to show?
The socks that I've been showing pretty much every episode are finally off the needles and have had their inaugural wearing. So,
yes.
Yep. Exactly. One more a pair of socks for the sock drawer. Whoops. So I was glad about that. And then I've got a hat that is the Rainbow Trout hat pattern. I've knit this a couple times, hats for kiddos, but I'd never made an adult version. So, well, I say an adult version. My head is
that
like
going in the Christmas box, or is that yours?
No, this is for me. Definitely for me.
Okay.
Somebody put this on the Free to Good home table at Into the Wool this past year. And it was dyed out of Knit Picks Bear. So I don't know if they dyed it themselves or if, it was sent to them or whatever, but no one's claimed it so far. I did throw it up on the Into the Wool message board on Ravelry to see if someone would, claim it. But I really, as soon as I saw it laying on the table, I just loved it. It's just so perfectly autumnal.
It's actually kind of Halloween-y.
Yeah. I just, I was drawn to it immediately. So anyway, that's the Rainbow Trout hat. And I probably have enough yarn. I think it only used a half a skein to do maybe some short mitts with or something like that. So
maybe you could figure out a way to work the pattern from the hat into the top of the mitts.
You know what? Lisa's pattern that she designed for us, the Woodland Dreamer.
It looks a lot like
Is that what that pattern was called?
Mhm.
Yeah, it is the same stitch.
Neat.
So maybe just fiddle with the numbers and do it for a worsted versus it was
Mhm.
written for a sport, I think.
True.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Well,
Good suggestion.
I knit a telemetry. I woke up and was like, I don't want to do my hair. And I had a little tiny ball of DK that I was like, not knowing what I was going to do with, because it wasn't really in colors that I knit with a whole lot. So I thought, well, I'll just knit myself a telemetry, and I can still knit a telemetry in an hour and 20 minutes.
Woo!
Good to know.
What, sorry, how much yarn do you think that used? Like
84 yards.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes. So not even a half a ball of most DK if you're using 100 gram skein. This was somebody had sent me, and it was in kind of more a brownish version of what you just worked with. It was it was like a rosy mauve brown caramel color, and then some dark brown and a little tiny bit of purple. And it turned out really pretty. I'll try to remember to do a project page for it and put it in the show notes. But I think it was like the 10th one I've made. They're a good like palette cleanser, really quick knit. They're great gifts too. If you have people that, like to wear their hair up or whatever, you can wear it and it leaves the back of your hair free, so you can still have a ponytail and not have to worry about that. But they're good for ear warmers. But I think the next time I make them, I usually shorten them, because if you knit them to the way the pattern's written, and it's a free knitty pattern, by the way, it's been up forever. It was one of the first things I made like a lot of. But if you knit it the way the pattern's written, it's enormous. So I've shortened it, but now I think maybe I like it a little bit looser. So I think next time I may add a few more stitches, maybe just 4, because that would be enough just to give it a little bit more room. But it's super cute. Madeline's already worn it a couple of times. So it may end up being hers. But yeah, I just pulled like a button out of the button jar to close it up with in the back. And yeah, it's super fun. So I finished that, and then I finally finished her snowflake. So this is Snowflake by Tin Can Knits. And so this is my DK. This is Virtual Vacation, which was an exclusive colorway I dyed last year for Needlepoint Junction in Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. And then this was a hot pink that I dyed. It's loosely based on my Heart to Heart colorway formula. But I was really proud because I did fade 3 balls together. And when you're looking at it in person, I don't think you can tell at all. It was pretty well done. So
I'm not in person, but I can't tell.
I did end up doing the yoke color on the cuffs, because I was a little bit worried about running out of the pink. I shouldn't have worried, because it didn't happen. I had plenty left, but I haven't gotten the buttons done on the placket yet. Obviously it's still just like falling open, but these are the ones that I picked.
Ooh, yeah, they're beautiful. They're gonna match so nice.
Would be, I just threw it up here. I thought these would be really fun. So this is her school picture sweater for this year. Our school pictures are November the 4th. So I've got plenty of time to sew buttons on and finish that up. But I'm really happy with the way that it turned out.
Yeah.
And once I really buckled down and started knitting on it, and technically, I finished it this month, but technically I cast this on in October of 2020. So this is my entry for our finish it up knit along. So this will be my entry for the quarter. And if I can finish this, I'll have a second one. So, because I think he's either 2 or 3 years old now. So yeah. So those are the knitting things that I finished.
I have one more, and Dana talked about the cowl that Katrina designed. She gave us permission to share it and talk about it. The pattern is not yet up on Ravelry, but it's a colorwork pattern. And I had the opportunity, I visited Dana, and I had the opportunity to hang out with some of Dana's knitting group friends. So she was able to hand the kit over directly, and I started it right away. There was a few different color options, but I just went ahead and went with the colors that the kit was designed in. And this is it. It's called Night Unfurled, and it's based on the Starry Night Van Gogh painting. It was quick, it was fun, and it's cushy. I mean, it's really cushy. I knit it just as written. I think it'll be a good piece. Like, this is how I want a cowl to fit.
Yeah.
If it's this weight,
Not
especially.
too tight right here. Like, kind of a little bit of room, but it's got enough body because of the color work and the stitch patterning that it stands up well.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's nice. So
fun.
Coming soon to a Ravelry near you.
Yes.
And
she's going to have kits available too. So.
Right.
And I think she had 6 different color stories.
Yeah, I believe so. She had, it was quite a few, but I'm not always so good. And especially not knowing what the finished project was going to look like, I kind of just trusted her judgment with how it was.
Yeah, we were handed a pattern that had no pictures. So we weren't really sure what we were going to end up with there. But the thing I love about the pattern, even though it was totally user error, or as Chris would call it, a picnic problem, problem in chair, not in computer. It was totally my fault. But I love that it's kind of a design your own adventure. So everybody's can look different because there's a bunch of different stitch patterns you can place in different parts. The one thing everybody's will have is the turned hem on the top and the bottom and the color work. But your color order's up to you. Your stitch patterns on either side of that section are up to you. And I love that it's something that you can kind of personalize and make your own. So that's really
sure. So she's Katrina J. Smith, designer name on Ravelry, Honeycomb Hills Yarns.
Super fun.
Those are all my FOs.
All right. Well, I for incoming, I'm kind of like in one of those places where I'm like, okay, so total rabbit chase here, but our couch is coming soon, very soon. Like, it was done on Monday and they're quality checking it right now because it has electrical components, because it's got recliners on either end and stuff. So our couch is coming, and that means that where what Chris calls my nest is over next to the recliner, all of that has to go because the accent chair is going there and the end table we currently have is going there. So there's not going to be any room for all of my knitting stuff over there. So, and the couch is bigger than our current couch. So there's not going to be a place for me to have like a knitting basket out. It's going to have to go under the coffee table in the storage area. So I'm like, I've got a lot of stuff over here that's like 2/3 done. So that's kind of where I'm at right now is let's knock some whips out. All of that is not going to happen before that couch shows up because I think that couch is coming in a week and a half. But at least it gives me some direction of what I want to be working on. So all that to say, I started a Sunset Highway forever ago. It's another Caitlin Hunter pattern, and I love my Sunset Highway. But I was kind of at the point where I was needing to make a decision on what I was going to do with the sleeves because I do not have enough of the body yarn to do the sleeves. I don't have enough. So I'm going to have to decide, do I want to do a short sleeve one? Or do I want to somehow like mess with the numbers on the patterning from the yoke enough to translate that onto the sleeves and then make the sleeves a little like elbow length sleeve? Because I think I've got enough to do about this much sleeve with the body yarn on each sleeve, and then it's gone. And it was my hand dyed. It was a one of a kind, and there will be no more of that one because I don't even know how I got that color. I don't know. Dyed yarn for 15 years, not a clue. So I've got to like make some decisions on that, but I really would like to get it done because it just doesn't lack that much. It's so close. And then my perfect pocket shawl, I want that because I want to wear it. So I need to get that done. I've still got to, I think I've got like one more ball I need to put in it, and then I need to French it and do the pockets. So, but once those are done, I want to make a worsted weight pieced sweater. And I can't find a pattern.
Oh no.
So if anybody out there has knit any worsted weight pieced sweaters, I'm leaning toward a pullover just because I don't have a whole lot of pullovers. I've mainly knit cardigans in my life. So if anybody out there has anything in their queue that they think I might like, send it my way. I have one color of yarn I want to use. It is the Lime brand. Is it Heartland? Is that what it's called?
That is something they make. Yes. Is that what
Yeah.
you're making?
Yeah,
pocket
it's
shawl?
the one that my shawl's out of, but this is in like a dark teal, and it's like a heathered teal, and it's really pretty. And I'd like to make a pullover, because I'm really not feeling a cardigan right now, because I've knit a lot of cardigans like in my knitting career. So I'm looking for a pullover, and I'm looking for something pieced, because I want to seam some stuff, because I want to knit in small chunks. I don't know. I think part of why I don't finish these things is because they're in the round and they're huge. And when I knit things in smaller pieces and then seam them together, it seems like I get things done. So apparently this is going to be some self-actualization. Like, I need to figure out like what's going to make me actually finish what I start. And I think that this is a good step towards that. So, but anyway, so that's what is coming up for me. What about you?
Honestly, when I typed up my portion of the show notes, I put in that I was going to pick up the little baby vest, because I didn't have anything in mind for incoming, and I kind of still don't, but I've decided to wait and do the vest next year. I've started working on my crafty bingo goals for next year already. And
Overachiever.
Miniature Frog a Whip is one of my squares, and I've kind of got that in mind to just wait and finish it. I don't have to have it finished for any particular reason, so there's no reason why I have to rush to finish.
It just something to put back for when somebody has a baby?
Yeah. Well, I had originally intended it for a baby, but then the baby came early and it wasn't going to fit him because he was a preemie, and so now it'll just be aside from whenever. So that's all that say. I mean, it doesn't even matter, but I'm going to make a dishcloth. No. When I typed the show notes up, we were going to have a class. My neighborhood has decided to start offering like different opportunities for members to gather, social meetings. And the knit and crochet group is one of those things. So it was last week, and I went, and I was the only knitter there. That has never happened before. There were 9 total, and all 8 of them were crocheters. 2 people didn't know how. One woman, it had been a really long time, so they kind of gave her a refresher. Well, I jumped up and said, before this happened, I said that I would teach knitting if they didn't have anyone. That way, I figured it would broaden our group if offering the opportunity to learn if you didn't know how. Yeah. And I knew that there were plenty of crocheters, so I didn't know that if there would be a knitting person. So I offered to do knitting, and there was one person that took me up on it simply because she wants to learn how to make the dishcloths. She loves buying them at craft shows, and she said, I would like to learn how. So
there you go.
We met for a little over an hour, and just working on the basic knit stitch. They started off with a plan to do it once a month, but I think everyone agreed that we'd like to do it more often. So we're going to do it bi-weekly. So I'll see her again next week and see how she's gotten along. But in the meantime, I typed up a list of resources, online videos and things like that. And also gave her my number and told her that, I was available at any time if she got lost or whatever. So anyway, I was going to make a dishcloth along with anyone who wanted to learn, but I still probably will make, because now I've got a bunch of dishcloth cotton. I actually had to buy dishcloth cotton. And one time I was swimming in it. I got rid of it because I said, I'm not going to make these. And I had to buy a little more because I ran out. So anyway, so a dishcloth, as exciting as that is, but
a couple of the girls on my team actually just went and took knitting classes last weekend in California.
Oh, wow.
They've got another one this coming weekend, and they're so cute. They've been posting pictures of themselves knitting, and I'm just like a proud mama over here. I'm like, oh man, I wish I was closer. I'd hang out and knit with you guys.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh,
For fun. But yeah, I love it. I love that they're doing that. And I love it when people find crafting and they get so excited and enthusiastic about it. It kind of brings back some of the, thrill of being a new knitter for me.
precisely.
Because this year, I think this is 16 years now. So 17, one of the two that I've been knitting this month.
Wow.
Actually, it's probably this week.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, let's see. Yeah, it's 16 years because I started knitting in 2005 and I taught myself the third week of October of 2005.
Nice.
So that's exciting. So cool.
So,
Alright, well, maker's moment, I've got a bunch. So
never
mind. You want to show your bag?
yes,
You have your bag. My bag's downstairs.
I do. Yeah. I made matching bags for us friends who saw each other, and this is the bag. It's showing up very blue, but it's mainly
more purple.
But all the parts that are white glow in the dark, so that's fun. But when I bought the fabric, Michael and I took a day trip to Lancaster, and I bought the fabric up there, and I didn't realize at the time that it glowed in the dark. And when I got home and stuck it in the closet, I was like, what in the world? So
the night you gave it to me, I had it sitting in the chair, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and I was like, what the crap is that?
what is
And then I realized, oh, it's the bag.
Yeah. So this is the What You Got bag by Cherokee Falls, and I've made it a ton. I like it, but this will hold a 9x9 Q snap.
Oh,
if
it's
you're
huge. Yeah.
I
That's one of the bigger project bags I have.
Yeah. So anyway, that's it. And I took my stitch marker off, but there was a stitch marker that matched that or that coordinated with it. So that's what I've done. And it was nice to sit down at the sewing machine again because it's been a while.
Well, on that note, because that's basically all I've been doing lately. So I finally got around to the bowl cozies that I've been talking about for a couple of years now. I went through and pulled a whole bunch of fabric that I'd never really had a plan for anyway, and paired them up into color stories that kind of go together. But these are a microwave safe bowl cozy, and these will fit a fiesta wear soup bowl. So they're the big, I made them a little bit bigger. I linked the link to the project instructions in the show notes. It's a free pattern. It's good for a beginner sewist too. Like, I feel like this is a very easy to make thing that most people could accomplish. Katrina actually came over, and it had been a long time since she sewed, and I walked her through how to make them, and we had a craft day. I've never had a sewing craft day, and it was super fun. I had such a good time with her. We talked and we cut fabric and we sewed things and we took turns at the machine, and it was really fun. So anyway, these bowl cozies are basically two 12-inch squares of fabric, two 12-inch squares of Wrap and Zap, which is a special kind of batting that does not have any polyester scrim in it. It's 100% cotton, so it's safe to be put in the microwave. And then you use 100% mercerized cotton thread. Don't use polyester. It will set itself on fire. I don't know this personally, but everything I see about it warns you about it. But anyway, the thing I love about them is they're totally reversible. You just flip them inside out, and you can throw them in the washing machine, like super fun. So I have 16 made so far. I have 8 more to make, and then I'll have my entire family worth of bowl cozies done. And then I've been making apple butter. I got some apples from a local orchard, and I started making apple butter, and I've made 3 out of my 4 batches. I've got 1 more batch to go, and I'm not going to be home today, and I wasn't home yesterday, so I couldn't work on it those 2 days. But I am going to make my last batch of jalapeno jelly for my jalapenos today. So I've got enough to make a double batch. So I've got enough to make 6 more jars, which hopefully will keep Chris in it till next year when my jalapenos start producing again, because he's eating it on sandwiches every single day. He's already eaten the overflow little jar I had made and then half of a big jar. And he's only got 2 more jars. So he's making tracks on that.
You turned him on to something that, a hot commodity.
It is. And it's nice knowing it came from our garden. Like, they're grown pesticide free and they were, raised with love. And yeah, we used what we grew this year for sure. He's also almost finished all of the salsa that I made. He's almost finished 14 jars of salsa in 2 months.
Well, that's a testament to how good it must be.
Yeah. And though, the thing he's made the biggest deal out of is that jalapeno jelly. He's like, that is so good. And I was like, I just got the recipe off the internet, Chris. It wasn't like I reinvented something amazing. He said, it's really good. I'm like, okay, I'm glad. I'm glad. That makes me happy. But yeah, the jalapeno jelly is a lot of work for just a couple jars, but it is kind of a cool thing. And I'd never made jellies before. I've never used pectin, never done any of that. So it was really cool. So I've discovered Bargello, which if you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen some of this. So this is the first piece of Bargello that I made. This is a wall hanging, and this is a complete kit that I got from Hello Bargello online. I don't think she has this kit anymore because it was on clearance when I got it. And she has sold down on a bunch of her kits because she's releasing a bunch of new ones. So if you go on her site and she doesn't have a whole lot, just be patient because I know she's coming out with some new things. But the kit was pretty awesome. It came with the plastic canvas. It came with all the colors of the DMC tapestry wool that I used. It came with the dowel and it came with a needle and cool instructions. So, and because I always do this, here's the back. Look how neat it is.
I love the
back of needlework. It makes me happy. But I still need to steam this and trim it to where it's level. But this is actually a Christmas gift for someone that I know doesn't watch. So, and then I started another one. And so this is how the kits come. This is really messy because I've taken it apart because I've been using it. But this is what the kits all come in. They come in these really nice bags with a zipper pull. They come with canvas, plastic canvas. They come, and this one came with like multiple pieces of canvas because this kit is actually intended for children. This is the Over the Rainbow wall hanging kit. But not only does it come with the charts for the rainbow wall hangings in various different designs, it also comes with a bonus piece of canvas to make a bookmark with. So I sat down the other night and stitched this entire thing while watching The Sopranos with Chris.
Wow. It's so pretty.
There it is on the back. The back is, if you do Bargello the way that they tell you to, the back is almost as neat as the front. It's really cool.
Yeah.
But I love it because the kits, no matter if you get the kids kit like this, or if you get a kit that was meant for an adult, it gives you very clear instructions on how to Bargello. Like everything you need to know. The kits are all inclusive. If they require a dowel to hang it from, it comes with it. If it requires hardware to close something, it comes with it. So I will say that this is not the cheapest craft to do. These kits are not, I mean, they're not terrible, but they're not the cheapest either. But the quality is good. And I feel like you're paying for the level of professionalism that somebody's giving you full color instructions and links to videos on their channel. And, you know, here's a step-by-step of exactly how to do this. And the adult kits are like this too, but it's really fun. And once you have the pattern, you can buy the canvas and use wool. You could use hand-dyed worsted weight wool out of your stash to make these. It'd be something really special. But anyway, so I love Bargello. It's super fun. And I ordered the ornament kit, which is limited edition for 2021. And I'm so excited. I think it's supposed to be here in a couple of days. So I'm going to make some ornaments. And the ornament kit came with a virtual class. So you get to take a class on Bargello. Yes. Love it. So anyway, that's been my new craft lately. I've been doing Bargello. I bought myself a bunch of those kits for my surgery recovery. And when they came, I got really excited. And they actually are really great to like just work little sections of and then put it down. So yeah, it's very intuitive.
It's something different.
Last but not least, I have a cup update coming. I'm going to do it on Friday, the 22nd at 2 p.m. Eastern. This is one of the cups that will be going up.
Ooh,
I love this one. It is so very pretty. I love it. I love the striping. It's just all good things. And then for those of you who love coffee mugs, this one is just a whole bunch of various shades of blue.
It's very pretty.
I love it. This is a good size. This is my favorite size coffee mug. These are awesome. They're 16 ounces. So it can handle your full Keurig and it'll fit under a Keurig too. Will hold your full Keurig brew, including your creamer and everything else you put in your coffee without overflowing. So that's awesome. And then I have this one, which I was doing a coffee swirl, which, you know, I love doing these coffee swirls, but it had like a gingery cast to it. And you can't even really see how pretty it is. It's not showing. So I had to make a Spice Girl. God.
That's phenomenal.
Isn't it cute?
Yeah.
I love it. But it's even prettier in person. It's missing a lot of the details because of the quality of my camera, but it's just got like really pretty swirls and really like, I'm obsessed with this section. It's so pretty. But anyway, super fun. So this is going to be going up on Friday too. I've got, I think 7 or 8 cups going up on Friday. There's one glow in the dark one. That's awesome. It's a very bright glow glitter that has some opalescent in it. And it says Bad Ghouls Club on it. So that's going to be going up this weekend and it will get to you before Halloween. And I mean, it's a glow cup. You got to have that all the time. It's not just Halloween. But anyway, so I've got a bunch of cups going up and that'll be on Friday. So exciting. I'm thrilled. I haven't had a cup update in a while. So, all right. So in my ears, what you been listening to?
Let me look and see because I do not remember now. Still a lot of SEC football podcasts because we are still in the middle of the season. So I won't bore you all with that again. But if you are interested in the list, they are in last month's show notes. And then I listened to the next book of each of the Mrs. Jeffrey series by Emily Brightwell and the Maisie Dobbs series by Jacqueline Winspear.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were a fun breakup. And then, you know, between my football and true crime podcasts, pretty much. And like I said, I traveled to Tennessee, so I listened to the books on the trip to and from. So I'm still really enjoying both of them.
Good.
And other than that, I've discovered a new Amazon Music station that I'm enjoying. It's called All 50s, and it's just a lot of fun and some great music. So, you know, if you're looking for something different to add to your rotation, just tell your device to play that.
Yeah, I like their 70s station.
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
70s.
I'm already familiar with that one. But yeah, Melissa and I had a wine night, and they had recently been to a restaurant where they were playing it. And so she was playing it when we met up, and I said, oh, this is great. So yeah. That's all.
Excellent. Well, I am doing my yearly re-listen to the Dresden Files. There's a lot of books. There's a bunch of them. I don't remember how many, but I know it's like 15 or more. I'm on book 7 right now, and they're just like my spooky season books. I'm reading Harry Potter 4 to Madeline right now.
Okay.
I finally just.
What did you? Was that what you were questioning, whether or not you should jump into? Okay, it was that one.
And it's funny because the part that kept hanging me up was, and I'm sure everybody who's watched this at this point has probably heard of this. So, but if not, fast forward 30 seconds because I'm on a spoiler. I'm sorry, I got a little hung up in my throat. I was worried about her handling how Cedric Diggory dies at the end. The part I didn't remember is that the Riddles all die at the beginning. And I was like, well, I guess we got the death thing out of the way real fast. And I mean, right. It did lead to some conversations, but it wasn't a huge thing. Like, it didn't turn into being a big thing. So I think she's going to be okay. But I will be stopping with this one for a significant period afterward, because the next one is when Sirius dies, and that's a parent figure dying, and that's a very different conversation. And I don't think she's ready for that one yet. But she's really excited. But I had forgotten how long the chapters are. It is taking me 40 minutes to read a chapter to her at night. So I'm having, good thing I've read it so many times, because I'm trying to find my own natural break in the text to stop and say, okay, here's where we're stopping for tonight, and we'll pick up tomorrow. Because I try to read for no more than 20 minutes because she's laying in bed. She needs to go to sleep. But yeah, there was one night when she got in bed really early and she's like, I'm not really all that tired. Do you think you could read the whole chapter tonight? And I was like, yeah. And then it ended up being like a 35-page chapter. And Chris was like, oh my God, finish. But I usually reread Harry Potter every year around this time. So it's nice to get to read it with her. She's really enjoying it. And she does have a lot of questions. We usually talk on the way to school the next day. She's like, so when this happened in the story last night, and we've discussed things. So it's led to some interesting conversations. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been doing, is just re-listening to that, re-listening to the Dresden Files and reading that to her. That's pretty much it for me. Not really even been listening to podcasts. Just listening to James Marsters be Harry Dresden in my ears. It's the best. So, all right. Where the wild things are. You want to start?
Well, my oldest came home this past weekend, so that was nice to hang out with him for a little while. And we all attended my niece's soccer game, so that was nice. To see the extended family while he was home, because he doesn't always get the chance to get around to everybody. It's, he's usually here for 4 days, and that's about that. So that's pretty much all. Work has been work. Not doing a whole lot of it. Michael has been released by the doctor to go back to work. Unfortunately, he didn't have a job to go back to. It's a long story. But he's found another job. I didn't tell you yet, but he is going back to the job that he wanted.
Oh, good. Well, I know that y'all were waiting to hear the last
time. Yeah. He found out yesterday morning. Well, he told me yesterday morning. Found out the night before.
This may have ended up being just like one of those meant to be times.
And I think he feels that way too. It was probably just naturally the time. He's tired of working, nonstop round the clock. So this new job's going to give him the chance to get away from that.
And he can transfer to Tennessee, and y'all can move here.
Yeah. Well, and that, believe it or not, I mean, I think that this health scare is really
lighting a fire.
Yes. Because he was saying last night on our trip back from Pennsylvania, he was saying something about he's really hoping within the next 3 to 5 years to make the move.
Excellent.
So we'll see how it all goes, but baby steps. So this is a step in that right direction. The commute is going to be a little longer for him, but he doesn't mind it. He's going back to a place, he's already worked. So he's just happy to have a place that he's looking forward to going to, even if it means, a little commute. So anyway, but that's all that to say, it's going to change my availability to work because of getting Kent back and forth to his job. So we're maybe going to need to evaluate that. And I like what I do, but I don't love what I do.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
I think there's oftentimes we have to do things that we really don't love to do just to make ends meet, but
Right, precisely. And I mean, there's probably that's probably any job. There's a lot of aspects that I do like, but
Yeah.
weighing, does the good outweigh the bad in the long
Yeah.
run?
Well,
So that's it. That's as wild as it's gotten here.
yeah. Well, Madeline just went back to school yesterday after fall break. Longest week of my life. I mean, just for so many reasons, but she just has like a really hard time settling down. And it's hard for me to keep her quiet so that Chris can work. So it's just, and we still haven't managed to get him moved upstairs to the guest room because there's an issue with getting the internet bandwidth that he needs up there. So we're going to have to do some retrofitting to the room in order to be able to make that work. But I really hope that we can manage to get that done because it will make things a lot easier whenever she's home for her not to have to be quiet. It's just a lot to ask of a 6-year-old to ask him to be quiet all day long. That's just not really feasible. So, and it rained a lot during our fall break. So it wasn't like I could just throw her outside,
Right.
Yeah. Put on all your rain gear, bear, and get out there. I mean, yeah, didn't normally do that. And I'm volunteering at her school right now. We have to because we got in on the lottery in the school district. We have to perform a certain amount of volunteer hours for the school year in order to keep her in good standing so that she can come back next year. So I at the end of this week I'll be at like 9. I'm doing a couple of times and then doing some stuff for her teacher at home. So that will count for hours too. It'll all work out. It'll be fine. It's just kind of like, I'm trying to get things done because I don't know what my schedule's about to be like, because I was supposed to have had my second knee replacement 2 days ago and insurance is being a butt and they will not approve it right now. So my doctor's writing letters and, trying to do like some peer-to-peer stuff to try to get it approved. For the time being though, I have no surgery date, and for me, who is a utter planner, it derailed my brain and I'm still really struggling because of it. Because I had really pushed myself almost to the breaking point to try to get through therapy so that I would be strong enough with the left leg to support my right side, which I'm only 9 weeks out from the left knee replacement. And it was just kind of a lot. It was a lot and it was painful. And to find out that I pushed myself so hard for basically nothing, it was very difficult to swallow. So, but as things have happened over the course of the last week, some things have come to light that it's probably better that it didn't happen yet because of various things that we need to accomplish in our family. We need to do some things around the house that he needs my help with, and I wouldn't be able to help post-op for many weeks. So, and of course, from a work standpoint, not being out again this soon is a good thing because it's taken me a long time to be able to get enough physical stamina up to be able to work. And I'm still not really able to work as much as I want to. And then this past week, it just kind of took the wind out of my sails and I didn't want to at all. So it's just been kind of it's just been kind of an emotionally hard period. And they didn't tell me until after I already had all of my pre-testing done. And now I'm having to fight the hospital about those charges because they want me to pay for it and I'm not going to pay for it.
Right. So, this was not a choice you made.
Yeah, this is not my decision. This was insurance. So they need to eat that, quite frankly, especially since my doctor's office apparently knew that things hadn't been approved and didn't tell me in time for me not to go do all the stuff that I've done. And yeah, that's been addressed with the practice director and such, but it's still leaving more work for me to try to do. So to try to advocate. And I feel so bad for people who don't have any understanding of the medical system and who don't have the ability for one reason or another to advocate for themselves, because in this particular healthcare world, you have to be able to advocate for yourself, or I guess you just never get treatment for anything. I mean, I don't know.
It's a mess.
It is a mess. It is a mess. And the cost is unbelievable. It's so expensive. And yeah, but anyway, so that's been kind of my bad thing to have to carry around with me for the last little bit. So y'all send me some mojo that things get taken care of, because the other thing is it's now pushing my recovery into the holidays, where I would have been 6 weeks out at Thanksgiving, and now I definitely won't be. And it wasn't until 6 weeks that I actually started feeling like a human being again. So now it means I'm going to feel bad at Thanksgiving when my mother's here, and I'm not going to be able to help Chris decorate for Christmas. And it means I won't truly be better until probably Christmas.
Mhm.
So that's going to be hard. That's hard to deal with. But
Well, this will be the year to let go of expectations, and maybe it'll mean the chance for Madeline to help more.
yeah, I mean, she's been doing great. She really has. And, she had a really hard time emotionally with my first surgery.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
didn't really talk about this
very
much.
worried for you.
She was convinced I was going to die. And she was up really late the night before my surgery, crying, convinced I wasn't going to come home. And then afterwards, she was very scared for a long time to touch me at all. She just was so scared she was going to hurt me, because I was in so much pain for so long. And she just now is to the point where she's starting to want to cuddle again, which I still can't really have her on my lap, because I can't have any pressure on the top of that knee still. It just doesn't want to deal with that right now. But that was hard. And then having to try to keep her constantly, you got to keep your stuff picked up, you can't have stuff in the floor, if I fall it could be a disaster, please don't leave stuff out. And she's 6. She doesn't want to keep her stuff picked up. She wants to go from thing to thing to thing and play with 50 things and then put them all up at the end. And you can't do that when I'm on a walker. So in our house is just not laid out for her to have a place that we can leave junked up. We just don't have it. So it's just been like a really hard season for us. And I'm trying to, not ask more of them than I know that they have to give as far as my family, but it's been bad. And this was a very painful recovery, and I'm not looking forward to it. And I think I was like finally to the point, like, okay, where it's about to happen. So I know that it's coming, and I'm planning for it. And I had to go off all pain relievers for anything else. I can't take migraine meds. I can't take anti-inflammatories. I can't even take Tylenol. I can't take anything. And I was off all those meds. And then they said, well, now you're not having surgery, but we don't know when you'll be having surgery. It could be next week. Well, that means I have to stay off all those meds. So I have nothing to prevent pain right now at all. My body is freaking out. Like, it's just been really hard. But, this too shall pass. And it'll be worth it when I have 2 new knees that work properly instead of just one now. But,
Right.
It's a long recovery. And, I've got other things that play into making it harder. So, okay. So announcements. Hear ye, hear ye. Check out Tiffany's party link to see all of the newest color street. As I said earlier, we just released holiday yesterday. We have Thanksgiving in right now. We've got a really cute brown glitter, and then a really cute nail art that's got turkeys and pumpkins and fall leaves on it for Thanksgiving. And then we have our holiday collection, which has a bunch of just plain glitter sets, which I love because those are great anytime. And then it's got, we've got some nail arts that are really fun. And the one that I think that you guys are going to care the most about, there is an overlay that looks like Fair Isle, and it's clear, so you can wear it over any color base.
Woo!
It's so cute. It's called A Dashing Time, and it's got little reindeer on it and little trees and stuff. So it's super cute, but it's like a black print on a clear base, so you can put it over any color or print you want and it'll show up and it'll look awesome. So that is going to be super amazing. I'm excited about that one. but there's a bunch of fun ones. So definitely check out Tiffany's link. If you purchase through her, then it gives me money for my family and it gives Tiffany a credit towards free sets that she can then have for herself. So that helps both of us out. I do have samples available if you haven't tried it yet. There's a link in the show notes. Definitely click through there and let me send you one because you will be mind blown. It will be amazing. So Amazon Associates, our book links are always Amazon Associates links. And what this means is we get a small kickback if you click through that and then purchase anything on Amazon. It doesn't have to be the thing that we've linked. If it's within the same browsing period, like the same window opening, it will give us a small kickback, and that helps us pay for shipping prices. We haven't got any clicks through lately, so I'm not really sure what's going on. So if you are doing it, let us know. That way we know to check into it and make sure that it's working. Because I know one person told me that they did it and theirs didn't show up for about a week, but it did show up eventually. But it's just you have to meet a minimum threshold of earnings before they'll pay out anything. So if you don't mind doing that, it doesn't cost you anything. It gives us a little bit of help with supporting, sending out prizes and stuff, and we do appreciate that. Let's see. So prizes for quarter 3 of the Just Finish It Already craft along. I'm going to let you take it on this one.
Yeah, I went ahead and drew offline just for the sake of time. And we had 6 participants this time, and there were a total of 26 entries within those 6 people. And it looks like everyone, got some substantial things off the needles, hooks,
Wonderful.
and or frog, something has been done with that project. So the yarn winner was, I don't know if it's going to show up, Bus Knitter Sue.
So you are going to get this skein from me. This is a one-of-a-kind skein of Twinkle sock that I dyed. So Sue, that is yours. I'll get that in the mail to you since I have your address already.
And then the bag winner for me, you can go to my Etsy shop and choose anything that you see there, or reach out if there's something that you would like to see that you don't see. Maybe we can work together on that. But the bag winner is Eileen. So Eileen, you are going to receive a bag from me. So reach out to us.
I shouldn't have said that. I would just pop that in the mail. I would like for the winner of the yarn to contact me first. That way we know that she's watching too, because that's fair for everybody. No, but I do have her address. I don't need her to send me that. I just want her to tell me she's seen the podcast.
Cool.
Okay, last but not least. So this is 4th quarter of our knit along. So at the end of this one, we have the opportunity to change it up in January, as always. So we would like some feedback from you guys. We have an idea of, instead of doing an open-ended one like this, of partnering with some designers and trying to vote on something for us to do together as a group to work a particular pattern. We could do it almost like a fantasy football bracket and put up a list of designers, and then the top 3 that get voted on pass through, and then we pick a pattern together and stuff. We could do something along those lines and then get some sponsors to donate some prizes. Or we could do something like this again. If you want something that's kind of more open-ended where you can work on whatever you want, that's an option as well. But we'd like to hear from you because we've got a couple of months to make a decision, and this affects you guys. If you want to participate, we want you to be able to. So
yep, just hop on over and let us know.
You can comment here on YouTube. We do read all the comments and we try to respond to them too. Or if you'd prefer, you can send us a message on Ravelry or comment on the show notes page on Ravelry, or you can send us an email directly at justonemorerowpodcast@gmail.com, because we're still using my podcast email. So
yep.
But yeah, just let us know, and we'll take your thoughts and desires into consideration when we make plans for that. But we haven't had, not to say we don't appreciate everybody that has participated this year, but we haven't had a ton of participation this year, and we don't know if it's because my podcast changed platforms to video, maybe we've lost some people who were followers before, or if maybe this particular style of craft along didn't appeal to people. Like, we want to do what you guys are going to want to participate in. So
For sure. Yeah.
all right, well,
I think that probably about does it for my end of things.
yeah, I got to be at the school in like an hour, and you've got to go pick up
Gotta-
in like 2 hours.
Housework jump to do, and then grandma's got a doctor's appointment this afternoon after I pick Ken up, so I'm gonna
Mercy.
throw him at her house and let him cut the grass while I take her to the doctor. So
Well, that sounds good. Put the boy to work.
yeah, it was his idea, and I said that is great.
I would like that very much.
Yeah, that would kill two birds with one stone, believe me.
Excellent. Well, I will I will hope that the next time we record, I don't know when it'll be, because once again, our
Right.
schedule's kind of up in the air because we don't know when I'm having surgery. Like, we're turning in a letter to insurance today that the doctor's writing, and they could approve it tomorrow and me have surgery next week. We really don't know. So, you'll just have to bear with us and follow us on Instagram, and because I'll post when I know for sure. I haven't really talked about this much because I didn't really have an answer, and I knew people.
Yeah, there was nothing much to report. Just we
Yeah,
don't know.
I mean, I'm in a holding pattern. That's really all I can say. So, but anyway, so we will talk to you guys soon, and we hope y'all are having a great fall. All right.
Yep. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Bye, y'all.
Bye.